As my wife will tell you, I love disappointing people. Best to enjoy the things you're good at, after all. I particularly love when indie game developers come to me saying, look at this completely original idea we've come up with, because I can take one look at it and go, oh, that's not original, that's just Stardew Valley crossed with XCOM crossed with Custer's Revenge or whatever. Better luck next time. Watching the light go out of their little eyes as I talk is basically the only way I can come these days. Almost makes it worth wasting my life playing thousands of shitty video games during the best years of my hairline. That's why it's always noteworthy to find something that utterly defies comparison. It happens so increasingly rarely. Especially these days, now most of the new indie games are such and such meets Balatro meets anime tits. Katamari Damacy, Papers, Please, there weren't anything like those, in video games at least. Respectively, they were comparable to making really efficient use of a brand new lint roller and working a data validation job at a wonky desk perched on the lip of a wood chipping device. And now there's Blueprint, another of those very rare camel platypus tarantula hybrids that defy comparison and terrify the absolute shit out of zoo-going schoolchildren. Where to start? It's a first-person roguelike puzzle game with resource management elements. Is it possible you oversold this, Yahtzee? Shut the fuck up, I'm still thinking about it. The premise is you are a 14-year-old snot with no friends or ambition in life and probably a track record of rampant delinquency, judging by the way you apparently don't have to go to school, and after your eccentric great-uncle dies, you inherit a massive great fuck-off house, to illustrate the complete absence of justice in this rudderless so-called society. But once the paperwork's signed and you're gazing up at our new estate, the lawyer rolls down the window of their already started car and yells, oh, by the way, you don't get to keep it unless you find the secret room, and you're not allowed to sleep inside the mansion because all the rooms change overnight, and you'll presumably get horribly mashed up in the workings like a cherry tomato in a garlic press. By then, I set up a tent out by the bins. Yes, when I said your great-uncle was eccentric, he absolutely wasn't fucking about. All his peers settled for collecting their piss in jars and being incredibly racist. But not him, he was going for the full-on Sarah Winchester meets Wallace and Gromit. The rub is, every day the house is rebuilt anew. It's set up on a perfectly square grid, and every time you open a door, you have to pick what room lies beyond from 3 options. And very few rooms have doors on all 4 walls, so you're building yourself a new mini-labyrinth every day, where it's very possible to box yourself in and run out of ways to go if you're not savvy about it. It soon becomes clear that finding that secret room is going to take a hell of a lot more work than finding the one suspiciously extruding book in the library, with the really on-the-nose title like A Pictorial History of the US Open, or The Art of Very Obvious Hidden Room Construction by You Are a Thick Twat. The secret room is deep in the heart of the mansion, and it's only going to open after you followed a spider web of multiple threads of logic and puzzle solving, some of which lead to progress, some to new ways to improve your resources, some to the hidden secrets at the heart of your family, and some might exist entirely in your own mind, like the 9-breasted snake woman that keeps telling me to set fire to the garden shed. For example, at one point I discovered that I can exit to the west side of the house if I build a garage, and I became convinced that if I built one in the northwesternmost corner I could access the back of the house, where presumably could be found the money tree and the prostitute conservatory, and the one book that explains the entire fucking plot. Fortunately I was set right when I had a note comparing session with my colleagues, which was both helpful and terribly amusing to learn what deranged conspiracy theories they'd formulated. Their absolute certainty that there had to be something significant about the symbol on 2 of the clock faces in the den, or that smug knowing look on the face of a taxidermied robin in the lobby. Thing is, I'm not even sure they're wrong. It's that kind of game. You build the breakfast nook room on the promise of getting a free key, and realise that the sequence of colours on the wallpaper relates to the order you have to press the 11 coloured nipples on the statue of Shub-Niggurath in the Forsaken Temple room. So the question surrounding any puzzle game is, what specific mental skills does Blueprint call upon? Where Oberdin was about deduction and elimination, and The Witness was about repressing your urge to call Jonathan Blow a pretentious git. Well, take your fucking pick. There's your resource management and learning most optimal room placement, pattern recognition, the parlour has a new deductive logic puzzle to solve every day, the billiard room has a darts-based number puzzle that starts off just having you add up the lit up parts of the board, and 40 days later is having you convert a number to 2 significant figures, reverse the digits, divide by 12, and sacrifice a dog. Ultimately though, the main mental skill the game tests is your ability to not throw your chair through the screen because you got fucked over by random chance for the 50th fucking time, which is a point against Blueprints, I'm afraid. I've just about finished the game, but there's one last loose end that I can't tie up until I build a house where a boiler room connects to a pump room, neither of which are guarantees, and imagine my annoyance day after day, opening the one remaining door that a boiler room could possibly go, and randomly drawing bunk room, conservatory, sex dungeon. Fuck me! No, not literally. Start again. I suppose the game wouldn't have that absorbing just one more day quality if we weren't rubbing up against a certain amount of random chance. That's how they get you, isn't it? You don't keep pulling on a slot machine lever because it's good elbow exercise. Little bit scummy, yes, but it's a little bit scummy to make me perform sexual favours by bribing me with chocolate. I'll feel dirty while I'm doing it, but I still get some tasty chocolate afterwards. What the fuck am I on about? The randomness is a lot less frustrating when you do still have multiple loose ends you can be pursuing, and at the end of the day I can definitely recommend Blueprints if you like reassuring yourself of your own cleverness and some lovely immersion storytelling bubbling away behind the scenes like a vat of boiling water brought in for an extremely ill-advised escapology show. And again, its uniqueness alone makes it worth a look. If I had to compare it to something other than another video game as I did earlier, I'd say it's like filling out a puzzle page after someone crafted it into an extremely complicated origami swan, and every few minutes you roll the dice on whether you hold the pen in your left hand, your right hand, or up your nostril. It's satisfying to think about what I'm eventually going to do to the asshole who fucked up my newspaper.